Hi everyone, it is Atia here, Booking with Atia. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting into some new and anticipated releases. I am sharing with you my most anticipated releases from actually February, which has already passed, as well as March. So we have 21 gorgeous new books. 13 of them are already out in the world because they came out in February, and then the other 8 are March releases. Before we get in, I do want to encourage you to check out my Read Your Library Round 2 official announcement. It is out. I will have that pinned in a card, but also down below for you to check out. I'm super excited to be bringing back the Read Your Library Readathon, and all the details and everything are going to be in that announcement video that I just mentioned. I also want to encourage you to check out my Bonfire as well as my Etsy shop. And if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, make sure to consider becoming a channel member or a Patreon member. All right, we're going to dive right on in to these books, starting with The People's Library by Veronica G. Henry. This one came out on February 3rd. I have actually read from this author before. She wrote The Canopy Keepers and the second book, which of course I cannot remember the title of, but I enjoyed them, thought the world building was very fresh and unique, and I have some others of her backlist on my TBR, but I'm excited for this one. I'm not going to be reading full synopses unless it's super short because nobody got time for that. But it says, from critically acclaimed author Veronica G. Henry comes a thought-provoking science fiction fantasy set in near-future Cleveland that follows a reluctant curator of digital human consciousness who must uncover twisted secrets and navigate ethical quandaries and dangers when anti-technology rebels attack the futuristic library. So there's some rebellion, probes the ethical weight of preserving consciousness. It's character driven, and yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Also, I think the cover is so dope. It's one of the like dopest covers I've seen from this first quarter. So yeah, very much looking forward to that one. I actually have a copy. How did I get? I think did a publisher offer it? I have the ebook. So I need to actually get to that pretty soon. Then we have Read Between the Lies by Jesse Q. Sutanto. If you're, know anything about me, one of my favorite absolute all-time authors is Jesse Q. Sutanto. This is the author who did the Dal A for Auntie series, as well as some other young adult and adult titles. Oh, it's Vera Wong's Not So Secret Guide. There's 2 of them, and I'm conflating the titles, but absolutely love this author. So very excited to have this new mystery thriller out in the world. Read Between the Lies is a dark, delicious takedown of cancel culture in the publishing industry, and in this claustrophobic psychological suspense, the line between victim and villain blurs with every chapter, because in the end, everyone has their own version of the truth, but only one will make it onto the page. Whoa. So there's like an online rivalry, there's an author. Okay. Oh gosh, this not deals with, but like the pandemic pops in, of course, as a pandemic forces everyone online. Tensions escalate in the writing community. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. The third book on this list is going to be Superfan by Jenny Tinghui Zhang. This one also came out February 3rd. And this is a novel about a pop idol and his superfan whose stories shockingly collide. Freshman Minnie is adrift at college in Austin, Texas, when she discovers a boy band called Hourglass in the online forums that worships them. She especially loves Halo, and Minnie pours everything into her new fandom, clinging to every live stream and bonding with other fans online. But when a scandal threatens to expose Halo to harm, Minnie decides that she's the only one who can save him. What? Except Halo's secret is darker than anything the tabloids could imagine. Before he was a superstar heartthrob, he was Eason, a high school dropout haunted by a tragic accident. Whoa. And then he's, of course, been hiding his past, and one of those very fans is threatening to destroy everything. Dazzling, entrancing, and deeply heartfelt, Superman is about fandom in all its magic and its terror in the extreme lengths to which we go to rid ourselves of loneliness. Okay. I had not read the synopsis of that in a very long time. Then the last February 3rd anticipated releases is another one that has an absolutely gorgeous cover, and that is Queen of Faces by Petra. And I did not know that this was going to be a series. It says number one. In this unforgettable fantasy for fans of Leigh Bardugo, Olivia Blake, Brandon Sanderson, and R.F. Kuang, a desperate girl at a cutthroat magical academy faces a choice between life and death. Become an assassin for an enchanted elite, or watch her decaying body draw its last breath. What in the what? What? Okay, I gotta read more of the synopsis. Annabelle Gage is trapped in a male body and it's rotting from the inside out. But Anna can't afford to escape it, even as the wealthiest in Kaimor buy and discard expensive designer bodies without a thought. When she fails to gain admittance to the prestigious Paragon Academy and access to the healthy new forms the school provides its student, her final hope implodes. Now without options, Anna must use her illusion magic to try to steal a healthy chassis before her own kills her. But Anna is caught by none other than the headmaster of Paragon Academy, who poses a brutal ultimatum: face execution for her crime or become a mercenary at his command. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have an arc of this, like an e-arc, and I need to bump this up because what? That sounds absolutely incredible. Moving on to February 10th books, we have Maria the Wanted, and this is by V. Castro, another author that I've read from before and want to read more from. It says newly turned Mexican vampire Maria is not just out for blood, she wants answers. A gripping tale of empowerment, desire, and belongings, perfect for readers of A Dowry of Blood and Certain Dark Things. I've read the latter of those. That's by Certain Dark Things is by Celia Moreno Garcia. Maria is a wanted woman. She's wanted by an Aztec trafficker, a cartel boss, the people she fights for, and now the devil she can't resist. Her journey begins as a would-be immigrant turned vampire in Juarez, Mexico, until the injustices of the world turn her into something else. Okay? Like, doesn't that just sound absolutely juicy and delicious? Then we have one that I've been waiting for so long, and that is the Obake Code. And this is by Makana Yamamoto. I read their first book, which was the, what was it called? Tamajang Luck. Loved it. And this one takes place in the same world and follows one of the characters from that cast of characters, high octane, character driven sci-fi crime thriller. How do you follow the greatest crime of all time? It's been 3 years since the Atlas heist. Malia, aka the Obake, the greatest hacker of all time, was set for life. But being set for life turns out to be pretty boring. But when her new hobby of rigging underground fights lands her in trouble with one of the most dangerous gangs on Kepler space station, she's offered a deal. Take down the corrupt take down a corrupt politician interfering with the gang's business, or it's the end of the road for Malia. Hastily assembling her own crew, it should be easy after the impossible heist of Atlas Industries. But this time the person she's working for is just as bad as the person she's taking down, and there are darker things lurking in the shadows. Things tied to Malia's past, things that could decide her future. Then we have The Body by Bethany C. Morrow. This is a horror, a pulse pounding supernatural horror story where one woman must survive a series of bizarre and escalating attacks on her marriage. Okay. Mavis broke from her parents' congregation years ago, still hasn't recovered. Now she's afraid she's about to lose the only thing she has, her husband Gerard, the man she's always known was too good to be true. No one thinks she deserves him, not even after surviving the serial cheater they wanted her to stick by. And soon they'll all find out they were right. Mavis is already unraveling when a brush with death shows her what real fear looks like. Soon she's under constant attack from all directions. As the assaults turn increasingly vicious and bizarre, Mavis realizes that hell isn't reserved for the afterlife. Okay, what? Then we have Opal Watson, A Case Most Foul. And this is actually in the Opal Watson like middle grade mystery series. I really enjoyed the first one. This is by Brittany J. Thurman. And it says a lively puzzle-filled mystery for curious middle grade readers who love clever sleuthing, secret histories, and the thrill of untangling riddles while exploring friendship and family legacy. We love a short little synopsis. Moving on to February 17th releases, we have They Call Her Regret by Channelle Desamours. In this young adult speculative mystery, a teen must find a way to free a cursed witch in order to save her best friend before time runs out. Whoa. Okay, so there's a party. Her best friend Kira dies under questionable circumstances. And then this witch appears and offers Simone a deal. That's the protagonist. If Simone can figure out how to release regret from the curse trapping her at the lake within 14 days, all of Simone's regrets will be erased. If Simone accepts, Kira's life will be immediately restored. But if she fails, Kira will die again, and Simone will be the one to kill her. We love a little drama between friends. Then we have Time for Change by Questlove with S.A. Cosby. This is the second book in the Rhythm of Time middle grade science fiction series. And I can't remember if the synopsis has spoilers in it, but there's time travel, there's like quantum physics. It's a really fun time. I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what Questlove and S.A. Cosby do in this second one. And that one actually came out on February 17th. Moving on to one that I'm waiting for Libby to get, and this was actually a February 24th release, and that is the next installment in the Amari Supernatural Investigation series, and that is Amari and the Metalwork Menace. After the events of the third one, I had me shook. It really did. So, ooh, I'm trying to see. There's like not a bunch of spoilers in this. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that synopsis to y'all because it definitely like hints at some things, especially some things that happened in the third book. But Amari Supernatural Investigations, the first one is Amari and the Night Brothers, and that one is always compared to like middle grade fantasy meets Men in Black. There is this institution that trains up, is basically a school that trains up tweens and teenagers to become adults, then that handle supernatural cases and try to like, fight the forces of evil and all that stuff. So yeah, I absolutely love this series. It is just getting better and better. And again, another cover that's absolutely gorgeous. Another February 24th release is one that I actually talked about in my winter book haul from Barnes& and Noble, and that is Cleopatra by Saara el-Arifi. And basically, Cleopatra tells her own story in this evocative and sensuous historical epic from the best-selling award-winning author Faye on the Final Strife. You know my name, but you do not know me. Your historians call me a seductress, but I was ever in love's thrall. Your playwrights speak of witchcraft, but my talents came from the gods themselves. Your poets sing of my bloodlust, but I was always protecting my children. How willfully they refuse to conceive that a woman can be powerful, strategic, and divinely blessed to rule. Death will silence me no longer. This is not the story of how I died, but how I lived. Just like a chef's kiss of a book synopsis. Then the final February release that I was super excited about, and still am because I haven't read any of these yet, and that is The Calico Cat at the Chibineko Kitchen by Yuta Takahashi and translated by Kat Anderson. I actually read the first one in this series because this is in the Meals to Remember at the Chibineko Kitchen. I read the first one in this series in November, I think, for NetGalley November. Follow the seashell path along Tokyo Bay until you get to the Chibineko Kitchen, where a traditional Japanese meal can summon anyone you choose from your past, but only for as long as it continues to steam. If you could speak one last time to someone you've lost, what would you tell them? Nagi Hayakawa is facing an impossible choice. With only a few years left to live, should she marry the man she loves? Desperate for advice from her mother who died years ago, she reserves a table at the Chibineko Kitchen. When she takes her first bite of the miso marinade tofu and rice, the resident kitten meows, the air grows hazy, and she embarks on a reunion with the departed that has the potential to restore her love of life. I'm excited for that. I mean, I'm excited for all of them, hence why they're in this video. I feel like I always say that. Now, moving on to the March new releases that are most anticipated, we have When I Was Deaf by Alexis Henderson. A group of teen girls does Death Incarnate's bidding in this haunting speculative young adult novel by the author of The Year of the Witching. This is a short synopsis, so I'll read the whole thing. Rosalind Bulk isn't herself anymore. It's been a year since her sister Adeline died in the woods under mysterious circumstances, and Rosalind is still tormented by her absence. So when the elusive caravan of girls that Adeline spent most of her last summer with rolls back into town, Rosalind joins them to finally figure out what happened to her sister. Strange, beautiful, and intriguing, the girls are closed off from the world, and as it turns out, they're brought together by a force more sinister than Rosalind's nightmares could have ever conjured up. Death himself. Death has spared the girls from untimely endings, and to pay for their lives, the girls travel the country reaping souls on his behalf. Now Rosalind must decide if finding closure is worth the price of striking the same deal. Then we have Mayhem and the Morrow, which is actually the first in a series. I don't know if it's a duology or not. Another super short synopsis that I will just read. One mission, one curse, no escape. Zyra doesn't want a hero, she needs a weapon. To save her sister from a soul devouring curse, she has to cross the shallows, a nightmare landscape of ruined magic, shifting paths, and vicious creatures that eat people alive. Her guide, Thane Valcor, sorcerer assassin, walking red flag. His name clears rooms, his magic kills quietly, and whenever he's really after, it's not salvation. He promises to help. He might even mean it. But Zyra knows better than to trust a liar with a blade and ice in his veins. She doesn't have a choice. Ah! Then we have the only February 10th release on, not February, March 10th release on this list, and that is You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom by Vincent Tirado. Demons clash with inheritance claims as secrets unfold and violence is unleashed over 12 harrowing hours trapped in a house with the worst thing imaginable, family. Whoa! Xiomara is faced with an impossible task, uproot a demon and somehow kill it, or excise the ghost that lingers within her own family. What in the world? I'm not gonna read anymore. I feel like, and I love the cover too. It feels so 80s, and I love it. I love it so much. And I just realized that the house is the demon. I did not catch that before. It reminds me of Monster House. That's cool. Next up, we have a March 17th release, and that is The Heiress of Nowhere by Stacey Lee. This is a historical fiction slash mystery. An orphan races to uncover a killer who may have come from the sea when she and her beloved orcas fall under suspicion in this gothic historical mystery from the New York Times bestselling author of The Downstairs Girl. What? Orcas Island? Whoa, okay. I absolutely was enthralled by The Downstairs Girl. I've read one other of her books, which of course I cannot remember the name of. What else have I read? Oh, I read Winston Chu, the first book in that series, and I enjoyed it. But there's other historical fictions that she has done. Dang, girl has been busy. There's a lot of comic books. What? Why is it not giving me her historical fiction? Okay, that's weird. But yeah, since it's a mystery, I'm not going to read the full thing. But I did not realize that there were orcas involved. That's just so random to me. Next up, we have The Fortune Flip by Laura Kung Jessen. This is a contemporary romance. This charming rom-com is filled with Chinese traditions, second chances, and a luck-changing love story that will appeal to readers of Helen Wong, Jasmine Guillory, and Sarah Adams. Hazel Yen would love to be that person who doesn't believe in bad luck, but having lost her job, her mom, her optimism, and even her dim sum leftovers, she's sitting in a fortune teller's booth, desperate for a sign, any sign, that her luck might change, which is when fate crashes into her, disguised as Logan Wells and his utterly chaotic cat. Oh, that's so cute. And I love that there's a cat involved. And also the cover is really cool too. I didn't realize that the skyline was mirrored. The cat is actually on the cover. We love to see it. Then we have I Love You, Don't Die by Jade Song. Also, can we just talk about that title? Is great. Acclaimed author Jade Song, she wrote Chlorine, returns with her latest literary exploration, a lyrical, poignant, and heartfelt novel about the meaning of love, friendship, debt, depression, and death in New York City, a coming of age for a new generation. Oh, that definitely that is something. For as far back as she can remember, Vicky has been fascinated and obsessed with death as the only inevitable thing in life. From living above a Chinatown funeral parlor to working at a celebrity startup for bespoke urns, she has surrounded herself with death in her home, in her work, and in her ever-growing collection of Ziza, paper creations meant to be burned for the dead, adorning the walls of her apartment. That's a little morbid. Yet, though living in Manhattan and working her dream job is all she ever wanted, she still struggles to have meaningful connections or find any meaning at all in her life. Too often, she spends a day in bed, only drawn out from time to time by her best and only friend, Jen. That changes when a dating app leads her into a throuple with an artist and a labor organizer who offer exactly the kind of love she needs. For some time, it's perfect, but no one understands better than Vicky that all things must end. As doubts grow over the love in her life, her friendship with Jen, and her professional success, the oddly comforting abstraction of death starts something else altogether. With everything beginning to feel hollow and temporary, Vicky must decide how to keep moving forward, to try and hold on to what she has, or to once again do what she does best, destroy. Oh, Vicky girl, come on now. Not the self-destructive tendencies. Next up, we have Olivia Gray Will Not Fade Away by Sierra Birch. This one comes out on March 17th. It's actually a middle grade. A middle schooler navigates the challenges of feeling invisible, literally and figuratively, as she comes to terms with her asexual identity in this poignant, speculative novel, perfect for fans of Ellie Engel Saves Herself, love that book, and Jennifer Chan Is Not Alone. Okay, seventh grade has just started, but Olivia Gray already knows this year is different. Her brother ignores her for his crush, and all her friends talk about is who likes who, something Olivia has never cared about, even when Robbie, the most popular guy in school, asks her to the fall formal. After unknowingly rejecting him, Olivia goes viral on the social app Crush. As the chatter about Robbie and dating grows, Olivia starts to feel left out to the point of feeling invisible, literally. Seen only by her new librarian and a friendly kid named Jules, Olivia flickers in and out of sight whenever the topic of romance comes up. As she begins to realize she might be asexual, Olivia struggles to actually see the label because of the negative perception behind it. All she wants is to be normal, but can she really fit in without disappearing completely? Oh, Olivia, no. And then the last book on this list is a March 24th release. And this is actually a historical fantasy. And it is Aisha by Soraya Boazawi. I believe is how you pronounce her name. Temptress Monster Warrior. Aisha is the story of Morocco's warrior goddess, her strange magic, fierce rebellion, and devastating romance. Ooh! An epic tale of female rage and hidden myths, perfect for fans of the City of Brass and the Stardust Thief. Okay, right up my alley. I love female rage. The Portuguese flag has been planted across Morocco, its empire ruling with an iron fist. But eventually, all empires must fall. Aisha, the daughter of a Moroccan freedom fighter, was born for battle. She has witnessed the death of her people, their starvation and torture at the hands of the occupiers, and it has awakened an anger within her. An anger that burns hot and bright and speaks to Aisha's soul. Only Aisha's secret lover, Rashid, a rebellion leader, knows how to soothe her. But as the fight for Morocco's freedom reaches its violent climax, the creature that simmers beneath Aisha's skin begs to be unleashed. It hungers for the screams of those who have caused her pain, and it will not be ignored. Let's go. Very excited. So yeah, those are the 21 releases from February and March that I'm like super, super duper hype for. And I have a list of, I don't even know how many books was on that list of February new releases as well as March new releases on my, well, the March new releases haven't gone up on my Instagram, but by the time this video goes out, it will be there. So I have two separate posts on my Instagram, one for February new releases to put in your TBR and one for March. I do those every month. And then I'm also doing like 100 books to look out for every quarter. So my quarter two releases will be coming out near the tail end of March, beginning of April, and then my quarter one ones, of course, are already out. And you can check out my Instagram for those. Those lists easily have over 75 to 100, sometimes more than 100 books that are coming out in a given month or a given quarter. And yeah, let me know which of these 21 books sounds super exciting to you. Which ones were already on your radar? Have you read any of the February or early March ones? Do you have any e-arcs or advanced reader copies for some of the ones that are coming out later in March? Have you read them already? Let me know. Once again, make sure to check out my Read Your Library Round 2 official announcement, as well as my Discord and my social media. Those are all linked down below. Check out my bonfire so you can get yourself a nice sweatshirt like the one that I'm reading. This is the black and bookish design, but I have so many more designs, including possibly some Read Your Library designs coming soon. And make sure to check out that as well as my Etsy shop. And if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, you might want to consider becoming a channel member or a Patreon member. And I will see you in another video. Bye.
Weakness showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me. I'm